from a personal perspective, he was my hero. Growing up as I was a kid, I was a Graham Thorpe and Robin Smith guy. They were my two players. Yellow bat handles. Really, love those two people. And then when I first started to work at Surrey, Thorpey was a coach here. Started in about 2010 and played a really crucial role in the young careers of players like Jason Roy, Rory Burns, Dominic Sibley, like a lot of the sort of real sort of Surrey, the greats of the current Surrey era. Had a lot, took a lot from Thorpey when he was the second 11 coach in those days. And he was just a very, very, very well loved, very popular man around the club. And what happened to him was tragic, and it hit us very, very hard as a club. His family had already started working with Mind, the mental health charity, and so they were a very natural partner for us to partner with alongside the ECB, as I say, and Thorpey's friends and family. We sort of formed a group of us, some people from Surrey, some people from the family, some people from Mind, and just sort of sat down and worked out what the best form of it would be, and one of my colleagues came up with a genius idea of the headband. Obviously, those of us who grew up watching Thorpey, the headband is completely iconic. Taking off his helmet, raising his bat, raising that grey necks, or the kookaburra, sorry. And Smith, the judge, used the grey necks. He used Thorpey obviously used the kookaburra, and with the headband on under the helmet was that was the image, and that was the image that we've put on the mural outside the ground as well, so that was. Both the sort of really brilliant visual tribute to Thorpey, having that everyone wearing the headbands, and also was a really good fundraising mechanism to help us raise the money that we wanted to raise.
Yeah, you raised I think over 170.
Just over 170 grand.
Yeah. And that's now gone into the Bat and Chat.
Thorpey's Bat and Chat initiative. Yeah. Which is
through what's gone on there.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's 10 of them around the country. 4 of them have launched as we sit here and speak. 6 of them are preparing to launch in the next couple of weeks. So you've got one here at the Kia Oval. You've got there's going to be one down in Guildford, and then all around the country. So you've got, top of my head, places like Bath, Leicester. There's one in Havering. There's one up in North Lincolnshire. So dotted all around the country. So they're 12-week programs run jointly by a local branch of Mind. So Mind is essentially a network of about 110 different local branches of Mind. So they're teaming up with a community cricket organisation, either usually a county cricket foundation or a cricket club with a bit of scale and ability to deliver community programmes in the area. So the 2-hour sessions, an hour of cricket and an hour of sort of group psychotherapy, 12-week programmes running throughout this summer. Hopefully we'll be doing a lot of good.
It's an amazing scheme. Have you worked with Thorpey's family a lot through that process of setting all this up? Yeah,
absolutely. So they were very closely involved last year. And then Thorpey's son Henry is actually coaching, one of the coaches on the programme here at the Oval. So and one of his other members of his family are going to go down and visit different programs depending on where they live in the country. So there's a real we're involvement with his family there.
Yeah, and how's the feedback been from it so far? You say some of them have already launched.
Great, yeah. I mean, we're early doors, so we've I think 4 weeks in to the one here at the Oval, which is on Wednesday nights. Speaking to the coaches that are running it, and speaking to Henry, and I think they're absolutely loving it. I think they're really starting to feel like they're making an impact early on, and as I say, hopefully I'm not in direct contact with some of the people a little bit further away geographically, but they're speaking to people at Mind, we're really pleased with how it started.
Is it kind of targeted at young men, or is it all ages upwards?
It's all ages really, but I think it's all ages, but we'll see who ends up signing up for them, but I think the feeling was that there's people who are around about the age that Thorpey was when he passed away. There's people who maybe play cricket throughout their life, and therefore their social circle has become very much linked to their cricket club, and who maybe have their bodies start to give up on them a little bit in terms of actually getting out there and playing cricket every weekend. I think there's something that people don't really realise is that if you spend 30 years of your life most weekends every summer playing cricket, and then suddenly from a physical perspective you don't feel like you can do that anymore, then actually that is a really big social loss for you as well. It's a big shock to the system, and there's a lot of people who you're just used to very naturally and organically seeing every weekend, and if you don't feel able to physically play the game with them, and therefore you don't come along, then you don't see them, and rapidly you can get pretty lonely quite quickly. So I think there was a feeling that was potentially some people who are going through that phase might be helped by this, but it was a very much an open door.
Is the aim of it to open up those conversations? Obviously, there is still sadly a stigma around not talking about your mental health.
Sure.
I thought it was such a shock.
Yeah, absolutely. I think societally we've moved on a lot from where we were even 5-10 years ago in terms of the way that we treat mental health, and I think cricket as a sport has come with society on that. I think I've worked in cricket 16-17 years now, and the awareness of mental health now is radically different to what it was when I first started working here. So and I think the game has responded to that, and other organisations like the PCA and whatever are doing really fantastic work. So hopefully it will be able to open up some of those conversations, either directly through the participants in the programme or also just from the awareness that it's causing, hopefully around the game of people who realise it's important to talk about your mental health with your friends, with your family, and important to check in with your mates, and if you feel like you need to open up about something, to do so.
How important do you think it is for clubs like Surrey or professional sporting outlets? Obviously everyone knows sport, getting outdoors, socialising is really great for your mental health. How important is it that you have an example like a club like Surrey?
Yeah, super important. I think it's for me the role, both as someone who works in professional sport and as someone who is a big professional sports fan of lots of other sports teams as well. The role that a sports team plays in your life is really influential. And for me, we have a really brilliant opportunity to try and speak to our fans about things that we consider to be important, and use that connection that we have and the ability that we have to speak to people who sometimes are difficult to reach in other areas, to try and help them and try and have those conversations. So absolutely. I think I really hope that the important role that Surrey plays and the Oval plays in people's lives is something that we can hopefully utilise to create some positivity here.
Have you seen or had wider conversations with kind of the ECB or in national level about this to take it further?
Yeah, absolutely. So we're bringing back David Thorpey this year, as we've announced. We're hoping not any announcements here. Watch this space, but we're hoping that David Thorpey this year is going to be on the day 3, also the Friday of the Oval Test, which this year will be day 3 because we've got a Wednesday start. Yeah. But there's also 9 county championship games starting that day, so maybe around the country. So maybe watch this space for some announcement there, and ECB have been very supportive as well, which is great. Obviously last year David Thorpey was such a success, and also Thorpey is a great man of the ECB as well in terms of the connection he has with players, particularly like Joe Root and people like that. You saw how Rooty celebrated the 100 he got at the Oval last year by taking the headband off and throwing Sharon up to the sky. So even Siraj was bowling in the headband last year. So ECB are very very supportive, and I'm sure Rooty will continue to be so.